Yeah, right on. How you been? How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself? I know we haven't seen each other since that little Texas event,
I
right?
know, I was gonna say it's been a minute.
Yup, yup, exactly.
But that was a good time. Fucking,
Oh yeah, loved it, loved it.
yeah. Can't wait for the next time something big like that happens. How have your shows been going? You've been doing a lot of
Everything's
shows.
been going good. I'm truly blessed, and I cannot be more thankful and grateful for everyone that's like supporting me and constantly coming to the shows. I'm making a lot of friends, of course, and then just everyone's showing a lot of love, and I fucking love it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
totally.
yeah, it's amazing. It's truly a blessing. Yeah.
The
Yup, yup.
scene has really, the scene has really, like, I feel like everyone has just learned
Everyone,
about you overnight, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and what's cool about it too, like especially being from the Bay, is like everyone knows everyone, so you see the same faces over and over again. You just create those
Yeah.
bonds, those relationships, and that's what I love about it. I feel like it's more than just raving. It's like family at that point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
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 it's the best and easiest way to make like I don't know, it feels like real connections when you like when you go to a show based on the love of the music and
definitely,
the love of yeah.
definitely. Definitely, yeah. Hey, dude, I've been peeping your music. You've been dropping banger after banger too, man. Your stuff is going crazy. I love it.
Thank you, man. I really
That
appreciate it. You
the
too.
money talks one out, dude. I had that shit like on repeat too, bro. I love that one, bro. I love that.
Thank you. I
Hell yeah.
it's such a bummer it got taken
I
down.
know,
For some
I know, yeah, dude. Fuck.
it's
But no,
still
that one.
on it's still on YouTube and I'll
Hell
definitely
yeah.
have to play it live.
Hell yeah, definitely.
So yeah, let's get into some. Are you ready for the interrogation? You ready for the
Let's
questions?
do it. Let's do it. Toss the questions at me.
Right on, man. So when did you discover harder styles?
All right, so I feel like it goes back a long way because when I was on YouTube as a young kid, I just discovered like happy hardcore, for example, like
Yeah,
DJ SDRL. Just hearing those like beats like MTC, all that. So I feel like I've been around it for a minute, but like when I first discovered it, it was weird as hell. So like, you ever heard of like the gym bro to rave pipeline, like gym bro to
sure.
hardstyle pipeline? So like,
Yeah,
I was a gym bro, and I was like, dude, I need some music to like hype me up, right? And this is when I first started going to the gym. So I was like, okay, let me like hear this out. And it's like hardstyle, like blah blah blah, whatever, gym hardstyle. I'm like, what the hell is this? I heard it. It's like it's faster tempo, boom boom boom. I'm like, holy shit, I like this music, right? So then I
yeah,
just started coming on to like more shit, blah blah blah. You got the different subgenres. You got up tempo, you got raw style, you got French core, you got all that stuff, right? So then, um, that's when I first heard about it. I'd say maybe it was like in the year 2021 ish. Yeah,
sure.
2021 ish. And ever since then, just been in love. So yeah.
Yeah. Just about the same. I mean, I totally feel that. I feel like right around then, like us Americans really
Uh huh.
started to get wise. Our generation really had
Definitely.
this big blow up on TikTok of all this like
Yeah, definitely.
other music and
Yeah.
Instagram too and
Yeah,
all that.
for sure. And I'd say before that too, I was heavily into rap. I still love rap and whatnot. I was into a lot of like Bay Area rappers, listening to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was. I was just craving like I need something with more intensity, something with more excitement, and I found hardstyle and I was like, all right, this is it. I haven't gone tired, hasn't gone played out for me. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel that. I feel that
Yup, yup,
exactly.
yup.
When I discovered like hardcore stuff, it was just like such a new thing to me, and I just had to know everything. You know,
Right.
I just
Yeah,
had to
that's how
know
I
it all.
felt too.
Yeah,
Yup, yup. Hell
and
yeah.
so you mentioned it yourself, like being a gym bro and hardstyle. So talk to me about like how those two things are connected to you. Talk about your
So,
journey with the two.
okay, okay, for sure. So the way that I know it's connected is because it all starts with that one guy Ziz, all right? So Ziz brought the whole raving and like gym culture together, right?
Yeah,
And so Ziz was always into the hardcore hard style. He loved Anger Fist, he loved all like harder styles. So with that, it connected a whole bunch of people like from the gym to go into raving, like that lifestyle. And with me, for example, then I got put on with hardstyle. I was like, hold on, like where can I find hardstyle like music live? And then
yeah,
my first ever rave that I went to was actually Wasteland in San Bernardino. So then I pulled up over there, and then yeah, you know, so it's just it. That's how I feel it ties in, and then especially with the for some reason now it's blowing up like on TikTok and Instagram. You know,
Right.
you see a lot of people posting to the music like in slow edits or like, you know, just like posing like like that, shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, so it's just it's
And
all
the
tied
euphoric
in
heart
now.
style's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people, like, I'll give a shout out to Dionysus and Yosef. They
Yeah.
pioneered that gym hardstyle wave for sure. They definitely
Totally.
pioneered that. So they put out a lot of bootlegs, like of Lady Gaga songs and whatnot. And
Yeah.
dude, they got at the time they got millions of views on SoundCloud and whatnot. And yeah, they pioneered that for sure.
One dude, I like. I think that there's a big split, and I wonder if you've encountered this yourself
Uh
in
huh.
that culture. There's a big split between like the old heads, and I think you can feel this with like up tempo or any newer genre.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how the old heads might see this kind of newer genre as like naive or like
Definitely.
ignorant to like the history and all
Definitely.
that. Like, do you feel like the gym bro community, or like, do you feel like the TikTokification of like this stuff? Like,
So
how do you feel about
So
it?
look, I've always been a person to never judge music because you know,
Yeah,
as a producer, I guess I can call myself a producer, right? But as like you know, a person that makes hard style music or music in general, I've never been really one to judge like other people's sound or how they want to express themselves creatively, and but yeah, you know, even myself, I faced like having people like, yo, what the hell, like, what type of music is this, right? You know,
sure.
I'm playing some Zogs and whatnot, and they're like, dude, what the fuck is that? Like, you guys really listen to that, right? So, but with
Yeah,
me, I've never been one to judge, you know. So it's just, I don't know. Some people like, you know, they'll make like, I guess it gets overplayed, and some people are just like, they don't want to
sure.
hear it anymore.
Yeah,
And I guess that's the only time it'll be like that. But I've never really been one to judge on how someone wants to express themselves creatively through music and whatnot. I think all music is good music. You know, there's never really been like I've always been told, you know, don't post music for other people to enjoy. Post it because you like it, because it's your music. You know, you like it, post it, okay? Like don't try to please others. Don't
yeah,
try to make others happy. Do it for yourself, you know? And that goes with anything too, you know? So, yeah, but
yeah.
I've
I get
definitely
that.
had a lot of encounters of people telling me like, dude, what type of shit are you making? What type of music are you making? I see
Sure.
you all the time going like boom, 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 boom. Like it's just what I do. This is me. It represents me, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When
Yeah.
like when I first discovered it, it was a big like I started going to raves, which a lot of my old crew kind of wasn't doing,
Yeah.
and big switch up for them, and they had no idea where it came from, and all of a sudden, like
Yeah.
as soon as I discovered the subgenres that I was super into and the subcultures that I really wanted to learn more about and like all that shit, it became just like such a fucking crucial part of my life. And I'm
Right.
sure you can like that's part of what you're saying.
Definitely.
And I don't know. I saw someone's like reel earlier today that was like, "Oh man, aren't you so glad that the TikTok hardstyle is finally dying
I've
down?"
seen
And in my head, I
that
was
one too. I
yeah,
actually seen that one. Yeah.
and I was just thinking, why? Like you're introducing more people to this genre. They might be interested. They
Yeah.
might look into it further, and even like ignorant, like that little bit of naivety where you don't know everything, but you know what you like. That's where creativity comes from. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? If you
Exactly.
knew everything the old heads did and you just did that, then you wouldn't be making anything creative. So
Exactly. You wouldn't be progressing or leveling up into different things. You'd be just stuck right there at a baseline, just
right,
you know.
yeah, that's how
And
genre dies.
and what's funny about it too, you can hate as much as you want on TikTok hardstyle or whatever like you want to call it, TikTok gym bro hardstyle. But in reality, that's what it's what brought more people to recognize hardstyle. I'd
Yeah,
say like it brought a lot of people, you know, like social media is the biggest like game changer for us today and
yeah,
getting views and whatnot. And if you want to get something to notice, social media, it's literally right here in front of our fucking face. And this is the way to put stuff out there. And it did a lot of that for hardstyle, I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. You
yeah.
know? So it's just wild. You know, you can hate on it all you want, but it definitely got hardstyle that attention. And then it brought in hard techno, then hard tech, and then
Sure.
whatnot. Like any
Yeah.
hard dance, you know? So yeah, that's just how I feel on it.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And um, yeah, I don't know it's such a like I feel like it's such not the standard here in the U.S. And it's funny because like you know German music, music from Berlin, music
right.
from Sweden, music from France, music from like all these places that you and me just aren't from and
Yeah,
probably haven't been like places that I like. I'm super excited to go to the Netherlands, dude. Fucking
definitely.
A. So like
Yeah, same here, same
sometime
here.
soon
Yeah,
we out. Let's do it
yeah.
together. Let's
Let's do it.
because
Let's do it. Hell
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But like to try and come from like a place where like yeah, I agree with you. Like hip hop. I love hip hop. I love like rock and roll and stuff. And to
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
those
Same
be kind of the baseline here in America, and then to be introduced to this new and interesting thing,
here. Mm.
I'm glad more people are learning about it, no matter how it is. You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
Definitely. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if the standard here in the U.S. is like bro step and dubstep
Yeah.
and rhythm and
Yeah.
whatnot, like you know, let's
It's
bring
good to
in
yeah, it's good
some
to
new
have
stuff.
variety too, you know, like for example, I love listening to house music, right? Like
Yeah,
let's say if I'm partying, having a couple drinks, yeah, I'll throw on some house music, you know, just
totally,
give a little frat flick here and there, you know. So it's good to have like a variety of different genres of EDM and whatnot.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You okay? So I think it's funny you keep answering my questions almost before I ask them. But you brought up Ziz earlier.
He's been like a very like big, how do I say it? Like a big influence in my life. Definitely big influence, and you know, motivated me to
Yeah.
get shredded and whatnot. You know, be a sick hunt is what they call it. So that's basically just being like a sick hunt is basically just someone who doesn't give a fuck what other people think. You know, you do what you want to do, and you live life, have fun. You know, you
Yeah.
train hard, party hard, whatnot, right? And I adapted that lifestyle a lot, like in the past couple years, I guess you could say, and it definitely helped me out, like reaching my my gym goals, reaching my life goals, you know, like and it's benefited me a lot. And I don't want to sound like oh like you know you got to be a gym bro to do this and that. No, it's just you could
No, no.
adapt it however way you want, you know, and just like everyone has that person that influences them, you know. Everyone has that person that influences them, and you want to be like you want that mindset like them, right? And I'd say like Ziz, you know, was one of the big people that influenced me into
Totally.
wanting to be a sick hunt and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's
yeah,
yeah. Anyone who inspires you is worth talking about. Like,
definitely. Yeah. So Ziz was a big one. Like I got the tattoo of Benny Vidi Vici. Yup. So yeah, that's like a big motivator in my life. Yeah.
right on.
Mm-hmm.
When so you said your first show was Wastelands.
Yup. Yup. First rave ever been to. Yup. Wasteland.
That
Yeah.
that's awesome. I am still pretty much only familiar with like the smaller stuff. Like I've
Right.
gone to a few larger things, but um, that's a cool first experience, man. Who were some of the cooler some of the cooler people you saw?
So it was actually wild, you know, for it being my first rave. I met up with Dionysus and Yosef at the time. I met up with them and got some pictures with them and I actually got them on my Instagram still. It's funny as hell. And
That is so
they
cool.
they got me and my girlfriend backstage to their set, and it was to Dionysus set, and we were back there. I'm pretty sure fucking Dead X and I think Lil Texas was there. I'm not pretty sure if I remember
Yeah,
correctly,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, we were back
That's
there. It
pretty
was in
sweet, man.
2023. Yeah, it was in 2023, but that was a rave that like I would never forget because like
Yeah,
just being behind the rails too, like on the other side, it's like wow, all these people are there, like and like we're right here, like you're in a different like zone. You feel me?
having
And
yeah.
I think I feel like that also like made my mind think like, yo, I kind of want to do this. You know, I want to give it a shot, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So
So
when
that
was your
one.
first show?
So my first show was actually last year in February. It was a couple days before my birthday, and yeah, it was like February 16th, 2024. Yeah. So
Nice. Dude, rad.
it was. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was in Oakland actually at the Continental Club. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
You're right
Yeah.
on.
Yep. It was an opener for Jimmy Cricket and this one other lad. And yeah, it was fun. You know, nerves were there. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I don't want to mess up. And it was funny because before that, you know, I had been practicing at my dorm in my dorm slash apartment in college,
Mhm.
and I was only used to a SB3 at the time. My
Oh,
buddy was
yeah, yeah.
shout out to my homie David. He let me borrow his SB3 so that way I could practice for my career.
Yeah.
And then I get hit up. They're like, "Yo, you wanna like I reached out, they reached back to me. They're like, "Yo, you want to play this show?" I was like, "Okay, hell yeah, first show in the books." And then like, "Yeah, you're gonna use a CDJ." I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And then
Yeah.
they're like, "You never use a CDJ?" Like it was like the 2000s, I'm pretty sure. And
You're
I was
like,
like,
there's way too many buttons
"Yeah,
there,
way too
dude.
many buttons." And then not only that, I had to find out how to
Oh,
export all my songs through Record Box and
right.
whatnot. So I'm
Yeah.
shitting bricks already. I'm like, dude, the show's like 2 weeks away. I don't know how to do jack shit. I got in touch with the homie Altered, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
it wasn't for Altered, I would have been, I would have been a total wreck. Altered saved my life. Showed me how to work the CDJs, what buttons do what. Showed me how to export my songs in a record box. So shout out Altered for
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah,
fucking love
yeah,
Altered.
yeah. Altered's the goat right there.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, saved my life right there. And ever since then, you know, the show, I was a nervous wreck, but you know, the show goes on, right?
Yeah,
Got
I've
through the
been there.
show. You know, I had some people dancing and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, when you see people dancing right there, you're like, okay, cool, cool, everything's good. And you know, ever since then, it's just been just
Yeah.
going. Ever since that show, you know, people's just been reaching out to me. You know, yo, you want to play this show? You want to play that show? I'm like, hell yeah. I hate denying like playing a show. I don't know why, but I hate denying it. So
It's
yeah,
hard not to,
I
man.
always say yes for the most part.
It's fun.
I just
It's
love
fun.
I love playing music. I love playing music.
And when
Yeah.
you love playing music, how could you say no? I feel that. That's all I want to do too.
Yeah, 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 man. So that was an experience for sure. I'll never forget that adrenaline rush too. You know, like it's different. It's different. Yeah.
and and how long you been producing?
Producing, I'd say for a little less than a year. I've been producing. I started off with a hard techno song,
Yeah.
and I just took drum loops honestly, and just just kept it on loop, and then threw in some hi hats and whatnot. And
Yeah.
but then I got more into producing hardstyle and up tempo more recently,
Hmm.
and it was funny because I heard this one song, and I was like, yo, I could totally make this into a hardstyle song, right? And I had some euphoric hardstyle kicks, but what I did was I kind of like sped them up to like 160 BPM to make it kind of like a raw style touch. And
Yeah.
it was that one song. I was like bailando, bailando. Du, 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 du. So then yeah, I made that one. I was like, okay, this goes hard. And then I just basically started taking like nightcore songs, you could say, and
Sure.
turning them into hardstyle. So that's like how I got familiar with like the kick patterns and whatnot. And yeah, the rest is history from there. That
Totally.
was maybe about shit. So I started like getting good at producing, I guess you could say, around November of last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, right on.
yup. Thank you.
Dude,
Yup.
it's always like I feel like you can tell there's like steps, and
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
every time you like you finally like claw your way up, and
Yeah.
then you're at this like nice little rest stop where you're like,
Exactly.
wow, look at how much progress I've made. Like,
Definitely. And it's funny you say that because I right there. You good? All right, got you.
sorry,
Bet.
yeah.
Yeah. So I had made some hardstyle songs a couple years back, and they're still on my SoundCloud. It's funny. And they just they're not it. But I still
Yeah,
released it because I was like, fuck what anybody says. I'm gonna just drop it, like see what the fuck anybody else thinks. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, got them out there still. I'm not letting that
I,
go. That's a part of my history right there.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I accidentally logged out of one of my
Oh
SoundClouds
yeah.
and like did everything just right to not be able to log back in, and so it's my old SoundCloud is just there, and I can't edit it ever. And
Yeah.
so like
That
all of my
yeah.
trash songs are
That
just like
digital
on the
footprint's
like,
still there.
fuck
Yeah.
it, you know?
Fuck it, right? Fuck it. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
yeah, like you said, it's a part of your history.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Um, yeah. So, golly, what? Okay, I got a few like just kind of minor questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your DAW? What DAW are you using?
All right. You got like
No,
everybody.
every
Everybody laughs at me when I tell them this. I use GarageBand. It's funny as hell. I use GarageBand.
dude,
Yeah.
valid. I know a kid who makes up tempo, and they only do it on uh the. There's one kid who does it on FL Mobile, and he
Okay. Okay.
only
Sweet.
does it on, but it's mobile, and so
That's
it's like
crazy.
the.
That takes a lot of skill right there.
And then
Yeah.
I know another kid who just uses like, God, I want to. It's another mobile, but it's like something silly like BandLab or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and like
I know.
everything's
Yeah.
valid, dude.
Yeah. See, I have a Logic Pro X also, but I got it bootlegged on my laptop, so that shit's already fried. I can't touch that anymore. And so I just use GarageBand now, and I guess I'm lucky enough to have been able to make tracks on there and still be able to. So yeah,
Dude,
hopefully I
yeah.
could. Yeah, I want to learn how to use like Ableton or FL soon. So maybe I'll take some like classes or courses on that. But
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, like, I think that GarageBand's great because it's really intuitive, and
Mhm.
then once you get into kind of the first tier of like DAWs, you get like FL and
Right.
Ableton and like all that. It's it's pretty much just picking what interface you want. And
Mhm.
personally, as someone who's making a lot of uptempo and a lot of like, German noise like krach
Yep.
and stuff, like
Yep.
the everyone is using FL.
Uh-huh.
Everyone is using FL. And
Yeah.
so it's really funny being an Ableton user trying to translate everything. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Trying to
Yeah.
figure out how it works.
I
So
get you.
if
Yeah.
you go into a new DAW, like do a couple demos before you buy one, and like
Definitely.
check them
Definitely.
all out, and watch some tutorials beforehand,
Yeah.
because like I
Definitely.
love Ableton and I'm definitely not switching
Yeah.
now, but like FL's pretty sweet
For
and I
sure.
get it.
I'm gonna do my research on that, man. I spent so much time on GarageBand and Logic Pro.
Hmm.
Um, shit, most of my life actually, because ever since I was 15, I've been trying to make music and whatnot.
Yeah,
Watched a lot of YouTube videos, like you said, and specifically for Logic Pro and what's it called, GarageBand. I was trying to get into mixing and mastering for like vocals and whatnot, and I got
nice.
up there,
Yeah.
but then I kind of like took a break from that stuff, and then I just kind of lost touch with that. But at least I
So
could say that I'm producing music.
totally. Well,
Yeah.
okay. What? Tell me about your music, like from start to finish. What was some of your first musical inspirations when you were a kid?
When I was a
And
kid,
like,
all
yeah,
right, so okay, musical inspirations when I was a kid, definitely like Lil Wayne. I'd say Lil Wayne. Damn, who else? NWA. Grew up listening to a lot of NWA. A lot of old school rap for sure.
yeah,
Um, and there's this one genre. It's called freestyle. It's like 80s, 90s music. So like you got like Debbie Deb, Lil Susie, shit like that, Stevie B. And it's like it sounds like some EDM, to be honest, when you listen to it. So
cool.
it has that EDM vibe, but it's like boom, 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 boom. So like but it's cool, you know. Like I fuck with
Yeah,
it. Like the stories they tell in that song, you know, it's cool. And
all of it. Yeah,
yeah, and
like
then
you said, EDM.
yeah, and then definitely too, like a lot of reggaeton, like Daddy Yankee, we seen a Yandel, like a lot of that Spanish music, you know. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So that was definitely a big influence on me too. Yeah.
Yeah, having a wide genre pool is like I feel
Yeah,
like it's pretty important just being an artist.
definitely, definitely, yeah, yeah,
So were you trying to produce like hip hop for a while? Were you trying
yeah,
to produce trap and stuff for a
yeah,
minute?
yeah. So it was a lot more rap. You know, I used to rap, but you know, I stopped all that, and yeah, I felt like you know in the Bay Area especially too, like the rap scene, it was very competitive,
It's over
very very competitive.
saturated.
Yeah, and no one really wanted to help each other build up as a
Mm,
community, being from the Bay. Like it seemed like everyone was against each other, and
I see.
I was like, dude, like I didn't really fuck with that. You know, people like starting beef and whatnot, and I didn't want to be a part of that crowd. You know, so
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take a break from this, and if I end up going a different route, I'll go a different route, right? So then like I got into like I started focusing more into school and gym and stuff like that, putting more time into that, and then I came across DJing, and then I started playing my shows, and then I seen like how much love is in the EDM community,
Yeah.
and from that I was like, okay, this seems like my type of people right here. You know, everyone gets along and shows support. They give you that push to make you want to go more, and
Right.
so ever since being a part of the EDM community, you know, it's definitely like given me that feeling of belongingness, and yeah.
That's a. I mean, I think that's a totally fair. Like that's how I felt. Like I used to play in like metal bands and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and at a certain point, it feels like certain genres here in America are pretty oversaturated,
Hmm.
and that's not why I fell in love with harder
Right,
style.
right.
But shit, man, it feels like it's still like an underground. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
definitely.
people kind of
Def-
have to respect one another just because like we only have each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
You know?
It's all we got. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, like it's the love is all genuine. You know,
Yeah.
like we do actually have that. It's not like, oh, we're trying to just
Exactly.
we're not chasing clout from one another. We actually fucking like do this. Like we're
We're
doing it
finding
together.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're
yeah,
finding people that we genuinely fuck with
yeah.
for more than just
Definitely.
superficial things on the outside, like what you
Yeah.
wear and what you're, yeah, what
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, who are some of, like, here's a shift. Who are some of your biggest musical inspirations now?
Okay. So now I'd say definitely number one, you know, I got to go with Lil Texas. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have
Right.
guessed that off the rip. You know, Lil Texas for sure. Just very, very, very wise person, you know. Like I've watched a lot of interviews on Lil Texas and like what he says about when it comes to pushing your sound through social media and whatnot. So Lil Texas number one. I say Leckerface is number two. His sound is
Hmm.
crazy, you know, and I love that. It's different. It's different from a lot of the up tempo and hardcore people, just because it's like a little crunchier, a little more distorted, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And let's see, who else? Who else? I say the homie Yosef, definitely an inspiration. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
with his sound, you know, it's crazy. His sound's crazy, and like just seeing that energy. Like if you were to watch his videos on YouTube of him performing live, you know, like I'm just like, all right, I need to be like that. I need to be more energized on stage and whatnot.
Right. I feel
So
that.
yeah,
Being on stage
yeah,
and you're a performer.
exactly.
You're
Yeah,
performing.
exactly. You know, people are there to see you.
Right.
Like, of course, they're there for the music, but at the same time, you know, they're there for your presence. You know, they want to feel connected with you.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. Otherwise, it would just be a playlist and you just hit shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It'd be like a house party or some shit. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Um, yeah.
um, shoot, let me see. What is your biggest fear as a
My
musician,
biggest
as like an artist? Yeah.
man, I'd say like my biggest fear would probably be like losing you back. All
Sorry.
right. No, you're all good, bro. So yeah, I'd say just like, losing that fan base that's built. I guess you'd say I'm cool with everyone. I never like do shit weird or nothing like that. I always say what's up to everyone. I've never been. There's some people I know out there in the DJ world and just out there that like think they're too good to be socializing with everyone or like
Right.
any or certain people, and I'm like, I've never been that way. I've always been like, what's up? I say what's up to everyone. I've always been like, yeah, starting combos, boom, boom, boom. Like, so it would be weird for, I guess, to like lose that fan base because I never see myself as being a mean person. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Your
yeah,
biggest fear is having an ego.
yeah,
Having too
exactly,
big of
yeah,
an
yeah.
ego.
I've always been told to stay humble, and that's what I'm doing. No matter what like happens or like how big I get, I'll never forget where I came from. Yeah,
That's super sweet, man.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a good place to kind of start rounding it in and asking my last question to
For sure.
you, which is, what advice could you give to artists who look up to you
Definitely,
or artists who want to do what you're doing?
definitely. So all right. Let's see what I remember, okay? Because I tell a lot of people a lot of things, but my biggest advice is to stay consistent, okay? So stay consistent in producing, stay consistent in when it comes to performing. Like, let's say people want to book you for raves, take it, just do it. You want to keep your name in circulation no matter what, because you don't. As soon as like you start taking breaks, then you fall away from the circle, and you want to stay within. You want your name to keep going around so other people can see it, and they're like, okay, there's so and so right there. We want him back. Oh, we want him
Right.
at this spot. We want like things like that. So you want to stay consistent with your producing, with performing, with it could even be posting. Like posting on social media. I say that's a big thing too. Staying consistent with that. When you see artists that are posting reels and everything like that, giving people a good laugh, it's helping them stay engaged with their audience, and it's very smart. It's very smart. That's what I'm trying to do now too with
Yeah.
posting these funny reels and shit like that. I'm trying to keep people like engaged with me so that way like I don't lose touch with anyone.
Yeah.
So that's another thing right there too. Just focus on engagement, connections, consistency. So yeah.
Right on.
Yup, yup.
I think those are all right on the
Hell
notes.
yeah.
Right on the.
Hell yeah. Appreciate
Of
it.
course,
Hell
man.
yeah.
You're killing it as usual.
Likewise.
Do you want to talk about any shows that are coming up or talk about any songs that
Yeah,
do you want to
so
plug anything?
yeah, so I got quite a few shows. Let's see. I got a show June 6th, Santa Cruz. It's Sydney Kim's rave, hardcore rave. So we're gonna be doing that. And then let's see, shit. We got the baseball. I'm actually opening for Guns for Hire, Adaro and
Nice.
Randy. And then let's see, I got another rave June 21st, I believe, with Raves Near You. I can't really say too much about that yet, but that's gonna happen soon. And then
Hold on.
yeah. Then July 4th I got another rave with Angel Candy. So that's gonna happen soon. And then what else? Pretty sure I got booked for another rave in July, but then also August 3rd with see, it's like Wizard. His name's Oz. Oz. Their name's Oz.
Yeah,
And
Ozzy.
yeah, Oz. Yeah, yeah. And playing a rave with them. So yeah.
Nice. I will. You'll have to
Yeah.
send me the links, and I'll have them in a
Yeah, definitely.
description.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'll put your SoundCloud too.
Appreciate you.
Um,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
of course. Are you on like Spotify or Apple or anything as well?
Yeah, yeah. I have some
Yeah.
songs on there too. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will put all of those right
Definitely.
down here
Dude,
in whatever
appreciate you so much.
description.
Hell yeah.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing talking
No,
with you.
likewise. It was thank you so much for this. I appreciate you.
Of course. Yeah,
All right,
have a great
Augie.
rest of your night, man.
All right, you too, Augie. Take
Yeah,
care.
have a
Bye.
good one.
You too.
Later.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great rest of your night, all you goofy goobers out there. That's my show.